we we sometimes work on a project and we'd work days in the office and go home.
Mm-hmm.
Now your home is your office and you're always there.
Yeah.
So there's not a break. I mean, I'd get up from wherever I was and go home, and at least I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't looking at the same four walls and the same.
You
Now,
have your phone with you 24/7.
yeah, I mean, we had a house phone. We didn't have a wireless phone. The phone calls came into the office or to a call center, and your beeper went off, and you looked at it, and you said, "Okay, I got to call these guys back." So the demands of life are different today,
Yeah.
and so the problem is, as an entrepreneur, if you're in charge, you're in charge, and you kind of got to figure out if you're gonna hand it off, or the people you handing it off to going to do it, because that's the other problem is control. I'm a control freak. I know it's just part of what you
I
are.
would never say that.
Uh, okay, we never. That's a word you never use either. Never say never unless you really mean it. So, uh, but so you're going to have to it's going to have to be done on an individual basis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me to stop something, I'd go grab a book or grab the guitar or something and go play and just do something that made me not think about it. It's easy to fall in bad habits. You can end up drinking too much. You can end up eating too much. You can end up. The other thing I did was I kind of over-exercised.
Mm-hmm.
When I got into a lot of, I mean, I was always playing soccer up until my 40s, but I did a lot of running too. And so when I get to be real, I just go run. I used to go to Stone Mountain Park and run the base of the mountain. It was
Mm-hmm.
5.5 miles. And by the time I got done running there, then I was my head had kind of cleared and all of that. So you have to kind of figure out what works for you. I mean, everybody has all these YouTube videos of do this and that. I mean, yeah, that might work for you, but it may not work for me. So,
So, what do you do now to find balance when you've had a really stressful day? What is your go-to?
um, well, usually now, I used to go out and walk. I'm not walking these days, but that's going to come back around here pretty
That'll
soon.
change. Yeah.
Um, um, Usually, what I do is listen to music,
Mm-hmm.
or I do some production work. I've been doing more production work with some of my professional musician friends, and they like what I did, so they send me more work, and it's a different challenge. And
Yeah.
so it's a variety. It's instead of looking at a spreadsheet or analyzing this or that, it's still work, but it's different, and it provides some variety. So I'll get a tune from my friend Pete Mayer, and he'll say, Mike, I need you to go look at this and do that, and then I'll go listen to it, make my notes, and do what we call polishing, and send it back to him, and he'll like it or not like it, and we don't hold it against each other if he doesn't like what I did, and I don't like the song. I tell him I don't like that song, but uh,
Well, it's good and it turns your brain off, right? So it gives you a
it
chance
gives
to
you some variety. I mean, I don't know what you do. I know you run and you go do different things. So those things, I think, obviously, exercise will really help as long as you don't wear your hips out. But um, those things clear your head a lot.
I love it. So, in terms of being an entrepreneur, you've got a lot of young kids that want to start their own business and they want to go through that startup world. And oh, I've firsthand experience now know the challenges, the good and the bad of it. But what experience would you give to young entrepreneurs that are looking to start their very first business, other than don't do it?
No, I would not say don't do it. But
Safe.
what I would tell you is it's always not going to be roses.
Yep.
You're going to get problems, and you're going to be and you've got to face the fact that you're going to be the one that has to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
So many want to just go and, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money and I'm going to sell it and I'm going to do this. Well, that does happen, but it usually doesn't happen without a lot of hard work and a lot of bumps in the road.
Yeah.
And how you deal with the bumps in the road, how you decide not to quit, because it's easy to quit, and sometimes you should quit. I mean, there's some times that I've debated whether I should or not,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't because the downside was going to be even worse than where I was. So you have to be objective and realize that it's not always going to be good. You're going to have bad days, and I'm not talking about a bad day at work.
Right.
I've worked for myself for the longest time, and sometimes I still hate my boss. So, um, it you just have to learn how to deal with the problems, and that's the only way I know to do that is to experience the problems.
Yeah.
You know, I can sit here and tell you, well, your bank's going to call your line, and what are you going to do? Well, until the bank calls your line, you
Yeah.
don't know what to do, right?
Mhm.
But you try to develop backup plans and all that. You've got a client that's not going to pay you, and he owes you, 6 or 7 figures, and yeah, you can say I'm going to go to court. Well, court, and 5 years later, you're still trying to get your money, and the attorneys have collected another
Mm.
3,000 from you chasing it. So there's there's times to fight, there's times to quit, but it's just trying to figure out where you are. And I'd go back to the network, talking to people who you can build a network through peers, all sorts of, I mean, there's Rotary clubs, there's, all these different things depending on your business, and building a group of people that will be honest with you. That's the other part. You don't need a bunch of people around here rah-rah telling you how good you are. I mean,
No
you
yes
got
men.
parents that'll do that. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we're y'all, everybody got a trophy back when y'all were playing soccer. So, you know,
Participation trophy. I was
so
rock star.
you need people that are going to be honest with you. And I would
Yeah.
say that for an entrepreneur, whether it's you got 2 employees or 20 employees or 200 employees, you need people that'll be honest with you, and don't take it personal. I mean,
Yeah.
it's because it's your baby, your business is your baby, and they're telling you, you may want to abort this thing.
Hmm. Your baby's ugly. That's what I
Yeah,
always
your
say.
baby's ugly. Yeah, that's at the end of the day. Um, you don't have to take their advice, but I think it's good to listen to their advice.
I think that's spot on. And that was one of the biggest challenges and lessons learned over my, past few years going through this experience with tracks is that everybody has an opinion and everybody wants to give you their opinion. And it was really overwhelming in the very beginning because you're just, you're starting out, you have your own vision, then everyone's bombarding you with their own thoughts and opinions on how you should do certain things. And like you said, it's really good to listen to it. You've got to be able to filter out what works for you and what doesn't. And
That's the key, is the filter, is how does this apply to me? And I think you guys, meaning your generation, have an even bigger problem because my generation didn't have social media. It didn't have all of these inputs. I mean, I had 8, 9 people give me advice. Hey, that's manageable.
yeah,
You got 80 on your phone every couple minutes texting you and doing things and all of this. And so it makes just the sheer volume of the comments, the advice, and everything make it more challenging because you're still a human and you can only take so much. So
it only takes so
that
much.
that those that's the biggest thing I see for these generations. Your and Brian's generation is how you manage all of that input.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's pretty
Carefully.
challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very challenging and it's overwhelming. I think that's why, you hear that burnout word so often. It's just because it never stops. I mean, the data, the content, it's just never ending until you put your foot down and turn your phone off or you walk away from it. You've got to take control back a little bit. It's
Yep.
been more difficult. So let's see, last couple questions for you. What are your own personal and goals and aspirations for this next chapter in your world?
Well, I'd love to see, Infax and Trax Analytics continue to succeed and grow and go in the direction you guys want it to go. It's you're steering the ship. Brian's steering the ship. Your decisions will make the decisions for your lifetime, however long you want to do it, whether you want to grow it and sell it, whether you want to go another 50 years, because I'm not going to be here another 50 years. I mean,
Don't say that.
Me and Addie are going to be playing in the field with Melissa and riding horses. So, um, but I just want you guys to be the success you want to be,
Mhm.
and get your personal goals, get your success, and your what is success for you is not necessarily success for me. I'm at a time in my life, my success now is concentrating on helping some of my really key friends and some of the things they're doing. The transition of some of my musicians friends to their age in their 60s, and their music is changing, and we're doing some different things. And that whole business, as I told my friend Pete Mayer, um, I used to think my business sucked until I got involved with yours in the music business, and my business just got amazingly great. Uh, but yeah, the music business is changed as much as your business, because what what happened to the music business is technology.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is a musician. Everybody can produce in their home. You don't need a studio. You don't, I mean, you need a studio, but you don't need the kind of studios these guys used to record in when they were
Absolutely.
really big albums with Jimmy Buffett and in Chicago and the Moody Blues and all these other things. I mean, you're talking about big studio stuff. Now it's, it's a
It's
room and computers, and they can do all this stuff. So it's fun learning that, and
Mhm.
I'm hoping to continue to do that over the next many years, as long as people are still streaming. And since it's free, I think they'll stream. Um, and then enjoy my health as long as I've got it, and when I don't have it anymore, go on and go ride horses.
Well, Daddy, thank you so much. You are such an inspiration and one of my heroes, my business advisor, one of my best friends, and I'm so thankful for your leadership in my life and throughout business. I'm getting teary-eyed. Why am I getting teary-eyed? Thank you. And I know
Well,
the whole industry adores and loves you, so thank you for all that you do.
well, thanks. Customers and the employees are key,
Mhm.
and if you keep good customers and can keep good employees, I think you'll do fine.
Yeah.
And then when it's not fun anymore, maybe think about doing something else.
Go ride horses.
Because life is short. Go ride horses. Or if I don't ride horses, maybe Melissa will show me. But I'm hoping to get back in a kayak here once
There you
I've
go.
been down. I can get in the kayak. It's getting out of the kayak that becomes challenging.
Minor details. Don't fall in. It's cold.
And that's why your mom is down scraping the boat ramp now to try to make sure I don't slip. Maybe she wants me to slip. I didn't check. The insurance payment is made, so she's still good.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Do you have any last words for everybody?
Well, no, just thanks. It's been a wonderful ride, and we hope we get to continue doing it. We've got a lot of wonderful customers, and those transitions are changing. Those guys are my age and moving out, and the younger ones are coming in. Guys, meaning girls and guys, and all the other stuff. I don't want to get into that part, uh, but that world's changing. But I think these same general rules apply, whether you're 30 or 60 or older.
Hmm.
Business is business, and it does change, and the products change, and how you sell the products probably change. But at the end of the day, people are people, and having a good group of them in your life is a lot better than having not a good group of them.
Amen to that. Amen. Well, thank you, Daddy. I love you so much. We appreciate all of your wisdom and inspiration today, as always. So I look forward to talking with you more. Can't wait to see you, hopefully, the next weekend or so.
Yeah, 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 that sounds good. My dog has wandered away, and I guess yours is asleep. So
You said don't wake him
we'll,
up.
we'll end on a note. She's not scraping at the door, and she's not stomping for food. So we're
That's a good
we're all doing well, and if I could only get her to make a vodka soda, that would be great. But she's just not quite big enough, and
baby
uh,
steps.
yeah.
All right.
So
Well, thank you so much. I love you, and we will talk soon.
take care. Bye.